きわめくあなたが愛おしい 引き飽きたステレオタイプももっと自由でいいはずなのに、それじゃ私がバカみたいじゃない。採点されるためじゃない。もっと違うものを探してたはずなのに、どこで間違えてしまったの。誰が君を道に迷わせたの。来なくちゃとか待ちわびていたステレオタイプもいつか捨てられてしまうでしょう。それが嫌だから書いてるの。俺が私なりの自己表現、センス上で起こる感情、さながら机上の空論争、.mp3 の独り言。 象自分発見の一目最初の手がだけどその自由さに憧れ始めた重ねた泡が消えてきて切ない未来全てが
What up, Kenny? Can you hear me? I'm I've been reading a lot of comic books, web comics and stuff, and I have, like, other than doing visual art, I write a lot and I design games, and I've been taking a lot of time to design games, and not too much time at all, or any time doing comics. So I have a story script written that it should be worth like a single issue of a comic, like the pilot of a TV show, and I want to get it done. I want to start getting it done. So what I'm doing is working on the cover right now. And it's basically like 1920s in space, right? That's the core premise of the story. There's much more going on, because the story was born out of another RPG setting that I wrote, and I ran like 2 or 3 games in, but I haven't run. Everybody wants to play, Star Wars when they do RPG settings, it seems, or a lot of people I know. So yeah, trying to get the cover of that pilot issue, that first issue. And Art Deco is a son of a gun, but it looks so pretty. So what's up with the show? How's that the with the creatures and the vampires and stuff going? $10-page of written space bounty hunter stuff, but man, here's the thing. I've been running games and homebrewing and teaching and for a very long time. So I haven't really run any real intrigue, or what I would consider real intrigue, because I haven't found the players. Like, when I have run intrigue, it's usually gone over the heads of the player groups that I have, which is sad, because it's not like the entire player group can't do it, but because of a few outliers, they usually steer the group in incorrect direction and yada yada yada, right? The GM's lament. The GM's lament. Anyway, but I've run science fantasy, science fiction, actual fantasy, sword and sorcery, modern times. No. That doesn't look good, in my opinion. Oh, I messed something up. Saved it already. Collapse the layers. This is going to be a pain in the butt to heal up. For the vampires, you found that not explained cultivation well enough. And now I'm going back to work on the system terms within the world. What do meridians chakras do? Yeah, it's when you talk about chakra, you gotta like there's I don't I'm not like I'm not the authority, but I know there's a few different interpretations of what chakra is, how it's accessed, and the like. I noticed that. Because I noticed that, it's gonna drive me utterly mad. Come on, I don't notice it at that level. Let's just be real. The amount of pages on chakras to go through is insane, or the amount of pages you have on your game is insane. Because I got a little bit of, I can feel you there. Having a lot of stuff developed. It's about, doing it in a way that is really digestible. Fooling one's mind into thinking it's more simplistic than it is. That way it's more easily understood. There we go! I hate when I mess up though. You go away. Alright. You come on here. You get deleted. Bam! I said get deleted, man. There you go. Boom, boom. Now I can try to figure this out. Reading chakra document, only 13 pages right now. But is it 13 pages on how, not just like, oh, this is what it is, but like, this is what it is, this is how it works, these are the things you can do with it, blah blah blah. Because if it's everything that encompasses meridians and chakras, 13 pages. I mean, that's actually not that. Magic sections are usually explosive. Oh yeah, but then again, this is more for your own edification than actual players, right? I'm sorry, I'm designing stuff for like games and players and player items, so my brain kind of defaults that way lately. As to, can the player understand it, and how difficult and power gaming and bleh, So I whatever. I got you. So you don't gotta worry about it. Get it all sorted out in your own head and just boom, run with it. Don't worry about how long it is. I had to stop talking because I was taking a lot of concentration. Actually, I should probably just... Wait, no. I'm trying to integrate these two things. But yeah, my most low magic stuff is like, if other authors write in this setting, they can go, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about making a world, like, whenever you want to, you're world building right now, and world building is one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love world building. And it's about creating something that feels alive, like some sort of continuity. Should I? Yeah, I should, because it doesn't look right the other way around. Alright, cool. It's about building that continuity, man. Oh, when you get that, you got it. Vampires the meridian not work under the vampire walls. This chocolate is inactivated. Right. Have you checked out? I don't know if I mentioned him before, but White Manga stuff. He's got. I mean, he's got some new stuff he's working on. But he has this thing called Apple Black. It's pretty cool, man. All right, how does that look if I look at my full screen thing? That doesn't look that bad. It looks like it goes together. Here, white or wit. Apple Black. He's got like he has some really interesting ideas on magic. I know you're using chakras and stuff, but like I don't know. I haven't read all of his stuff or watched all of his videos, but in his story Apple Black, in the world that's created around that, he has magic, and the way he works magic reminds me a lot of, yeah, the way magic is set to work is kind of like, having chakras and stuff. Like, oh no, you want to know about chakra? I completely forgot. Avatar, The Last Airbender, right? The first Avatar animated series. There's a point where he meets a guru, and he starts explaining the chakras, and he actually does a really good job of it, right? It's like, blocking the crown, the third eye, the throat, all those different points. I don't know if you have those points for your vampires, but it could be a cool thing. Yeah, Avatar, The Last Airbender, chakras, or like, do a YouTube search for it. It's bound to be on YouTube. It's good. Yeah, a lot of the Earthbenders are really buff. I don't know if you're doing about like vampires and meridians and chakra and accessing power through that way. What if, I don't know, I think it's the stomach. I can't just pull this information out of my butt, but there's positive and negative emotions tied to each sort of point, chakra point, each point of energy. Maybe there's a thing with the vampires where, because I think one of them is like lust and hunger, passion, love. Maybe vampires have those in excess. And they have an excess amount of power, being all these vampiric beings, because they have those chakras that produce in excess. But also because of that, it's also why they're vampires, why they're cursed, why they, you have your romantic vampire, like, ooh, I glitter in the sunlight. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me at all. What are you saying? So remember fighting with birth order. So far, the governing vessel and conception vessel are compromised, and now they can access, and others can access, their inner meridians more readily. Normally, these two meridians keep other people from easily casting spells abilities on the inside of your body. So normally a caster can't make your blood boil from the inside with ease or regularity. Okay. But what is it that I don't really know? Like, well, my boy Kai is on. Oh, what's this? Sorry, I had to disappear into this a bit. Cancel this one, but without those. Oh yeah, you still. Yeah, I deleted that center point that it took me forever to find it, and one little crooked gray. Stop rotating. No. Ah! You know, if I was in Photoshop, this would be much easier. Or not. I'm an idiot. I didn't know I had this feature. I didn't know I had that feature. That's awesome. Ah! Oh, why? Why do I not know about the thing that I'm using? Anyway. Alright. See, that don't look bad. That looks alright. Pencil and paper, baby. This is what it is, man. Where to go. These. Excuse me. Ah, nah, not on. Deselect, delete. Delete, get rid of you. You suck. Alright. What? What? Oh man, I'm bugging. I think I'm gonna need to get some more coffee in me, eh? I feel like I'm just like stencil splash. But yeah. There you go, so you don't get that yellow splash behind the white letters. I think that's alright, right? White letters? Should it be the white letters? Should it be the black background and the yellow, or should it be all black? Like if I just... What the... Oh. Yeah, no. Alright, so this is the idea for the first cover originally. Now, should it be like that? Or like this? I don't know, that doesn't look too good. I mean, if it was all black and white, then maybe, but... The two, no, well, yes and no. The main character is this guy on the left, Tim Gray, right? Tim Gray is, he's kind of like a cop. He's kind of like a quick cop, right? And, the one on the, how do you look at it? The one on the right, I don't even know if the camera's flipped. It looks like it's the one on the right, yeah. The one on the right is his mistress, but there are a lot of players. Okay, the main character, the primary storyteller. No, it's not even a primary storyteller. This is, the way I have it structured is very much like a, you know, a noir, one of those cop dramas, those, you know, gangster movies, but from a noir type standpoint. Though it's in, you know, it's in space. It's, you know, with aliens and there are humans too. So there is Tim Gray, which is the gray alien on the left. There's Wendy Singer, which is the alien chick on the right. There is Lorenzo, which is a beefy, brawny fish alien dude. Oh, what is his name? Puddles McGee. There's Agent Wilkinson, um, Fats. I can't have them all. Gray sounds like a good name for just a policeman or detective. He is. He is. He's actually an agent of, and okay, this sound personally is going to distract me as I try to remember. The story is set in a universe that I created to run games in. I think I said that earlier, right? Say, oh, hey, boy in blue, like a cop. Yeah, they are agents of Imperial law, right? I don't know exactly which term I'm gonna use, right? Because there's gonna be several different versions of cops, right? Because this is a universal thing, a galactic thing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the setting. All right, this is just a small piece, an introduction to what's going on in the setting, from the point of view of these characters. And I have very little work on the actual comic pages done, but these are my little comic projects. Space Wars. Here we go. This is the link to all the information. I have an actual, like, I was setting up a universe with galactic sectors and all this stuff for a setting. But that's some of the background information. No, go. I don't. No, speakeasy. Oh, criminy! I just lost myself. The Crooked Gray. Okay, this is the first arc. The only arc I have written, but they're kind of rough. But like this is. I mean, it's not a final page or anything, but essentially how I want to tell a story. Right? This is a really, really old version of what I wanted it to be. Can I zoom in? Like, where's the... You know what? You're getting on my nerves. I'm just gonna go Clip Studio. Page, issue 1, page 1. If it loads. But yeah. Oh, it's not gonna show up in the big window thingy. You got your aliens there. It's gonna be primarily in grayscale and black and white, with like colors. The idea is that since Agent Gray is the one telling the most of the story, things that catch his attention are the things that he's going to see in color. Then when it starts off, a radio signal traveling the void of space can last a good long time. And it stays pretty clear too. You'd be surprised. Come over here. Drunk human in the background. Passed out. Can't say that I know much of anything from a time before, but the old history buffs go on and on about how poetic it all is. This one, cigars, cigarettes. I love saying that. I don't know why. Second page, if it loads. A whole thing going on. You got the bar. You got a human here, a human there. A little weird alien guy there hanging out with the human. They say that all signals from the Imperium core survive to the deepest parts of space and greatly influence our current way of life. Shows how informed they are. Those Imperiums are little more than self-righteous machines. Hell, they're even worse than my people. And let me tell you, my people are dull. cigars, cigarettes. I'm being silly. But you know, like, chicken red. Can't say that this place has the best of the best, but it's got booze, it's got babes, and for better or worse, some bumping tunes. That's kind of like the tone of the whole thing. Well, maybe not the whole thing, but what I'm working on right now. It's a good idea, especially with detectives or other highly aware characters. Yeah, it's like his points of focus. You know, I was hoping to get that across when in this part. You know, it's got booze. The only thing in color is the liquor being poured into the glass. You know, that whole setup. It's got babes. This little alien chick is like, ah! You know, and bumping tunes. And he's focused in on the singer. And in this particular picture, that singer is Wendy Singer, which is the chick on the cover. You know, they're the first two to be introduced in the story arc, so I figured it'd best be fit that they fit those little thingies. Want to check out Wendy? Do I have that sketch over here? Is it only the sketch that I have? I don't have the whole thingy. Yeah, oh, whatever. Let's just close this stuff, so I don't have too much extra. I'll show you Wendy Singer. Yeah. No, yeah, right there. Get out of there so I can look at the things. Closer you, okay, you closer. This is Wendy Singer. I don't know why I do the whole thing just for a you know, sliver, but I was having fun drawing her, like, and all her attitude, you know. The idea, you know, she explains. There's a part where the story shifts to her point of view, and she's narrating, and she explains kind of who and what she is and stuff. I've seen this sort of there. With comics, it's more limited, but in cartoon format, people can put a bunch of notification, up clues, points of interest, things like how dangerous the character is, and yeah, it's easier, but okay. It's easier to achieve in animation. However, my ability to animate is atrocious. I've tried animating with this program. It's you know, it's possible and stuff, but it's a cell by cell animation, and you know, there's like, I know that there's some programs that they have ways to tweak the tweening, the between frames, and have a what is it called, like a wavelength, like instead of having to draw an animation like building up, waiting, moving slower, and then speeding up at the end, or towards you know, towards the end and slowing down rapidly. You could just draw the entire, like, okay, I'm gonna throw a punch, and you mess with the waveform, and it builds these frames up, holds them for a little longer, and then dumps the other frames later. So you can make it a little bit more procedural than having to hand draw every frame and span the frames out, just the frames. You know, it's something I really want to do, but I really want to do a lot, so I gotta limit myself. Yeah, and animation takes a while. Like with the comic, I'll draw 100, 300, 400 cells, you know, panels, and I'll have a story, you know. But with animation, you draw 300, 400, 500 pictures. You might have what? Like, you might have a minute. You know, you might have a minute. Like that little 2-page thing that I drew might take oh god, like at least 60 frames. At least, come on, right? It's ridiculous. Either that, or it would be a very, very choppy animation where it's like, it's still, chat bubble comes up, fade in the text, stays there for a while, another frame just kind of cuts to a mini motion, You know, I don't know what kind of animation that's called, but that's the only other way. I mean, I could do that. That much I could do. But I'd rather do a comic. You know, a nice little web series. Release them like a page at a time, like a page a week, or you know, whatever. Just to get my feet wet. See if I could actually do it, and do it with any skill. If I can't, learn how to. If it's going to be choppy, I think it would be better. Yeah, just be an animated comic, some panels moving here and there. I'm not. I don't want to draw an animated comic. I want to draw an actual comic. I want to get through. I have so many comic book starters. It's ridiculous. I've got thumbnails of things that it's ridiculous. I need to get some stuff done. I need to get it out there. Yeah. You know, get a little ahead of the curve. I got you. Well, that's why I want to do this one particularly. This one was very fun for me to write. This sort of noir style, and it ends at a place where it feels like a TV pilot. If it does well enough, I can end it. If it does well enough and generates enough interest, it ends at a place where I can pick it up and pick up the story and progress it. You know, it's a good teaser, I think. It introduces a lot of the characters, or a lot of the main characters for this particular arc. And I've already got like 20 something pages. Like, the script is like 20 something pages, but it's not written, it's a script written for me more than another artist. It sets up scenes almost like a screenplay, I think. You know, here's the scene, here's the general scene, and this is the dialogue that takes place, or this is the text that takes place on the scene, with minor notes here and there where like the camera would need to shift or focus in, which is not how I see many comic book scripts being written. But I'm going to try and rely on a lot of visual storytelling as well. You know, practice my ability to tell stories just by drawing pictures. Which is why those 2 pages that you saw, you know, that it's not a lot of the script. It's really not. See if this loads up. Right, it's from here to here. Like, that's it. You know, it's only... Those 2 pages are 200 words out of a little over 6,000 words in the document. You know? So, it's about setting a scene, and... I really enjoy taking my time with certain things. You know? Letting it sit in, and hearing those voices in the head. You know, a radio signal traveling the void of space. He's a bastard. I'm gonna tell you right now, Tim is a bastard, and I love it. It's one of those stories where, like, what is it? I'll show you the intro, right? The intro read. The very first, like, I separated these things into like mini chapters. Less because I was planning on doing a web sort of comic style, but more because it helped me to write. You know, I'm trying to find a way to help me to write, and this seemed to help, where it's like, okay, like if I go here to the layout, I title it, I have, like, if I haven't written it yet, I have a really quick, you know, 1-2 sentence summary of what's going on, what I want to achieve in this sort of part, and it helped to progress the story. I have another story called Smashfall where I didn't write it this way, and it's like, I don't know where to transition, I don't know my path, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? Normally enforcement detection comes with being jaded, serious, paranoid, nosy. This often leads to being a mean individual. They see a lot of bad things. Yeah. Um. Okay. To get an idea of this setting, all right. This was an RPG setting that I had developed. Now, the premise for the majority of the setting, where this story takes place and where like players would play, is the corporate sector. It is the part of the part of space, the part of this galaxy where what's known as the Imperial Empire deals with other alien races, right? The Imperial Empire is like an evolution of mankind. Think what is that movie with the gun kata, right? Equilibrium. You know how in Equilibrium they were like suppressing emotions because emotions are bad, right? This is an entire galactic empire that is set up the same way, and it's built by a union between gray aliens, which Tim Gray is, and the predecessors of the Imperiums, human beings. So they developed a way to remove emotion and have a very logical, measured approach to expansion, to growth. It's leading towards a utopian universe, right? And the corporate sector was created to allow for certain parts of the Imperium law and their code to be lifted to allow for more emotion, not a great deal of emotion, but more emotion to take place. That way they could learn from other cultures and deal with them in a non-robotic sort of stringent format, right? And the corporate sector, planets are owned by corporations. The purchase, sale, and resale of planets are all regulated by the Imperium Core, and on each planet they have agents of Imperium law to make sure that things don't go too far out of hand. And music and vibrant colors, these things are still outlawed, but they're allowed. They're allowed certain drinks. No, they're not allowed liquor, right? There's a prohibition on liquor, much like in the 20s. The reason being is it drives some alien races insane, and is a virulent poison to others. So, for diplomatic relations, liquor is not allowed. I'm trying to get. It's a whole huge setting. I'm trying to stuff into a thing. Think it's in space. You got prohibition, 1920s, and a bit of just said the name. Gun kata. Equilibrium. Damn it! Can't remember. It's one of my favorite movies. I can't remember. I can't remember the name. And noir. It's a mismatch. It's a lot of stuff that I feel works. Not a place live, but sanitized towards safety. Empowered government and state often turns tyrannical. Space power, noir fiction. Actually, the premise of the Imperium Core, this galactic government, this galactic power, is to prevent tyranny, to prevent becoming tyrannical, right? Where it's, I don't want to find it. Home Sweet Home. Scene. No. Is it Home Sweet Home? No, it's Playing House. Radio. This is some of the mantra of the Imperiums, like the Imperium Code, Imperium Law. It's not all the things, but I haven't played it on the radio. So love, passion, and desire are temptations unto sickness. Art, dance, laughter, and song are contagion, and must be purged. Suffer not the infirm within our hallowed halls. Do not squander the riches given unto you. We are our brother's keeper and benefit, and live for the benefit of all, right? Like, to prevent this tyranny, they kind of mitigate themselves. Like, no one in the government is allowed to be there for a while. There are laws against how long you can rule, which cannot be changed because of you live for the benefit of all and blah blah blah. Right, there's more. What do you? Yeah, right. Ambition is infirmity. So you're not supposed to be ambitious. It's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff, and like this is the core, but not the corporate sector, right? The corporate sector is full of ambition and assholes trying to get ahead and get around, you know, this Imperium law and all this other stuff. You know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. It's a big galaxy I made. Hundreds and hundreds of star systems. So yeah. Oh. Space powerful government, no. Space powerful government noir pulp detection. Yeah, yes-ish, I guess. The killing of emotions and regulations on everything is like turning against its own cause. Well, the point is to not make something that makes sense. Wow, that's a bad statement. The point was to create something that you could easily see as invalidating itself so that rebellion can ensue. So one of the aspects is that there are rebels and people who want to overthrow that government. The speakeasy part, the dance, you know, this is all this and the following arcs are all to introduce this one sort of mainstay where, like in the game, all the players or the majority of the players will be getting their quests from, right? It is the one thing that stands as a shining beacon against these laws, where it, in and of itself, is not attacking the Imperium galaxy, you know, the Imperium government. It's not attacking it, but it's like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you can't stop me, and nobody has, you know. Boom. Also, if you're gonna go on a coffee break, I'm going to grab. Okay, governments don't make sense. Start. All people don't make sense either. And then yeah. There's a sense of the story, the setting, and where the most conflict takes place is this crux, right? This conflict, this crux between trying to exist for the benefit of all, but removing all meaning to life that there could be. You know, so there's no reason to exist. And I don't know. I don't think I have any more coffee. Caffeine rules my life. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back. You'll be back. I'll be back. We all be back. Oh, I need to be able to breathe. Tea is good too. But I think it's about to be lunchtime anyway. I'm gonna need to get some food in me soon. Where's my medicine? Let me take my medicine so I don't melt. Let's see if I can find some mood music. This isn't very mood appropriate. Let's pause that and get some mood music, baby. See, this is what I like to listen to. I listen to this just regardless. Where's my mouth? Yeah. I need to run a one shot for my SMTT, man. Actually, let me link my boy B up in here, even though I'm not gonna be streaming for too much longer. Where's what if I just give him a black shirt?
I mean, you wouldn't want things to get dreary, would you? So just to keep everybody awake, sort of, I asked a couple of the boys in the basketball game. There's a beeping Tom sat outside my window. He's been there for days. And now he's only gotten lunch or Sunday, and I think it's time to play. 'Cause there is nothing more that I like than to be seen. Open up your eyes, real wide. This beeping Tom, I got a big surprise. So I slide across my hood, and what do I see? Sure as hell, the beeping Tom is looking at me. So I simply accidentally, carelessly drop my dressing gown for him to see. So beeping Tom, keep on looking at me.
That's it's too chunky, damn it. There we go. Don't. I wonder if I just make it all black though. If I make his shirt black, I don't need to draw all this extra stuff. It'll just be extra stuff. You can't see none of it. I like the idea of his shirt being black. You know what I'm saying? And he has a bow tie. I don't know how I could have forgot he had a bow tie, but I forgot he had a bow tie. Move together. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, de boop, boop. Boop, de boop, boop. So know what you want to make, which may or may not matter too much for your comic, is any significant physical mental differences they have from, yeah, I do, Greys are highly intelligent, highly analytical, and highly unemotional, highly uninspired. Their curiosity is less genuine or the origin of the Greys, like the story behind the story that's behind the story, right? The stuff that I only need mostly for development, right? Is that the reason the Imperium Empire was founded by, or every Grey alien is a citizen of the Imperium core, of the Imperium Empire, without the need to apply, go through emotional evaluation, is because they helped to found the Imperium Empire, and feels physiologically the origin of the Empire is with the first series of Greys, which is highly unemotional, who they experimented and developed their society to give themselves purpose, because an existence without purpose stagnates. Right? As far as their original motivations, when finding and experimenting with people on Earth, they found a way to eventually unite with them and develop a way to deaden humans' emotions, and in turn elevate theirs to at least a point of like a sociopath, right? Not a sociopath, a psychopath. You know, someone who has almost complete emotional disconnect. Well, these people had no emotions, and now they have at least a monicum, right? So little emotion that they can be considered citizens without having to go through emotional evaluation, right? Like I always figured aliens They show with huge brain. Yeah, yeah. Their own bodies in stasis to explore the world's groups. Well, I mean, I think I have too much into the backstory of what is going on to the setting. But yeah, I have a couple of corporations already done up. Mega corporations, what they do, some of their subsidiaries and slogans. And basically Tim here, Tim is an anomaly of his race, right? He's not only emotional, he's highly emotional, right? He is as emotional as any human kind of would be, but he's not a human. He's a member of a race who is known for their complete and utter disconnect from emotions, and when emotions conflict with logic, tend to go the logical route, right? He's an anomaly, and he's an anomaly to his own benefit. You know, he gets to live the kind of life he lives because there are certain assumptions made about him because of his race. Wendy, I forgot what the name of her race was, but his mistress, his girlfriend, his gal, Wendy, she's a member of a race that is essentially slugs. That's why she has robotic arms. She has no significant limbs of her own, and her body is primarily like lung capacity. And she's actually a member of a famous family that she ran away from home to pursue a career as a singer because she enjoyed, you know, the sort of, you know, the 1920s swing big band type music, the scat, sweetie wee bop dee bop, you know, that kind of stuff. When traditionally for her race and for her family, they sung a type of opera, and would sing without microphones because of the amount of power that they could put behind their voice given their physiology. Again, I think I did this because some of the races in thing, some of the alien races are kind of silly looking, silly appearing, and they have way too much thought. You know, again, like I said before, I love world building, so boom. But otherwise, a punishment killing emotions. Otherwise, it is easier to make vehicles, supply fuel, etc. All for one united species. Otherwise, a punishment, killing emotions, is a good way to control people. I would probably have him be like the saying, the swan remains calm upon the surface of the lake, unseen below, the feet kick wildly. That's essentially his character. That last bit you just said, the swan on the lake. I'm trying to give him a very judgmental gaze in this particular picture so that we, the reader, get a better sense of who he is. And then his very analytical, educated, informed mind when interacting with others at times is going to come across as not the norm. But when we're introduced to his wife and some other Greys, when certain Greys are talked about, we'll learn more and more how much of an anomaly he is, right? Like, I would rather the reader identify with his character archetype prior to knowing, you know, the degree to which, you know, his character spans. Like, they know he's an asshole, right? They've seen assholes like him. They've dealt with people like him. And then you slowly see how much of an asshole he is compared to how his race is perceived in the universe. Hopefully showing, one, what the Greys are in the universe, and two, how much of an asshole he really is. He's a fucking asshole. He's just not nice. He is not nice at all. I have that open somewhere? Yes, I do. Close it all. Why that's there like that. No, no, what? That's not open. Where is it? That's not open. You're just gonna be a jerk to me, huh, program? Yeah. Well, what often mankind cares. Okay, what are you saying? Well, often mankind does not care in mass about whether a leader or character leans towards good or evil, but what's reviled is often incompetence. You see all those games where it's cool to be a villain and do crazy shit. Well, it's cool because the characters themselves are competent. This, I don't feel like I've delved into the sociology and psychology of the characters as much. Very little, in fact. For this particular story, I've just done what I feel is fun for the story. For the most part, because I want to do a story that I can have a lot of fun with. You know, as far as despotism and everything, like, the method behind most of what's going on is that these humans, known as Imperiums, they're not despots, they're not tyrants, they genuinely think that they are doing the right thing. That's why the corporate sector exists, because it is an attempt to relate to other species, to bring them into the fold without having to resort to any sort of wars or aggression or any of that nonsense. I'm gonna have to just hand color everything. If you want to make, wait, but you see all those games too. In this case, if you wanted to make him jaded, snarky, dark, gritty, you just have to look for what few good, bad traits you want to show off. The road to evil. No, not with him. No, there is no, in his story, in Tim Gray's story, there is not a descent unto darkness. There is not, this guy was motivated to do good things. This guy is a fucking asshole. This guy is selfish. This guy is a jerk. This guy is not a nice guy and probably never was. Right? It's not about his background. It's about what's going on in his life right now. Right? Evil, I mean for the Imperium. The government is often started with good intentions, same with religion. But to the the Imperium, yeah. That much is slated for the Imperium. Their initial motivations, their ultimate goal, their secrets, and their secrets. Alright? That's all. That's in there. But that level of detail doesn't pertain to this part of the arc. this introduction right now. Right now, this is a character piece. And I kind of enjoy character pieces way more than giant stories. You'll learn to see the Imperium, the corporate sector, the corporations, the galaxy, the other aliens, through the eyes and perceptions of these characters, and hopefully get to gain some sort of attachment to these different things via, finding them out in an organic or as organic a way as I can achieve. Rather than these comics that they have these moments that are just rushed information dumps. I've seen it a lot. And at times I've done it, right? Like, I'm not perfect or anything, but it's just... no, that's something else. His tie is what color? It's gray, right? Currently everything he has is gray. His tie is red. I made his shirt lime green? I mean, that's really old. Even his eyes are different. Would that fly? Do some experimentation. Information dumps. Yeah, like actual, genuine information dumps. Like they just, well, hey, does this make him look? How does that make him look to you? Where the, what is that, Shilla of the eye is black, and he just has those blue orbs, so you can tell where he's looking. Let's leave it like that for now, I guess. Give him his lime green t-shirt. Just ever so pale lime green t-shirt. Why is an agent of Imperium law wearing colors if colors are such an affront to existence? Well, because it allows him to infiltrate and spy on other organizations that break the law. And the fact that it is so muted of a color is allowed. Yeah. Trying to find that right. Little. Right. Contrast is good. Just don't want it to be too alien. He's an alien, but I don't want him to be too alien. I want a sense of, like, ultimately I want it to be one of those things where, where it's a story full of bastards and a little bit of a, I guess, like a whodunit, Mix a little of that in there. Wow, this green is making that gray appear like it has more color than it actually does. Very interesting, very interesting. As much as a love mystery is super hard to write. Wait, what? Huh? You lost me, brother. As much as a love mystery, it's super hard to write. I feel like I'm missing something. And I'm looking back at your previous stuff. I don't see what I'm missing, but I feel like I'm missing something. It was detection or whodunit. Oh yeah. Okay, love mystery. I mean, there's a relationship, which is a intimate relationship in the story, but I'm not 100% sure if I would call it a love story. Right? There are several relationships. You know, Tim Gray is arguably the main character, the protagonist of the story. But there are several other characters who could arguably be the protagonist at different points of the story. And it's about their relationships with Tim as much as it is about each other. Writing for comics, novels, adventures, including mystery, one must do a lot of work in showing simple things that should go together and many others miss in a smooth way. Yeah. Oh, okay. Putting clues and such into each one is great, just difficult. I don't think I'm gonna have much of a problem with that because of the times that I've added maybe a little bit of intrigue into some of the games that I've done. Like one, I ran a Edge of the Empire, Star Wars Edge of the Empire game, and I did so for quite a while. For like 8 months, 6 to 8 months, something like, or 9 months. It was a while, right? And it's criminals, you know, Edge of the Empire. You had to deal with criminals. So I was like, how am I going to do this? There should be a little bit of criminal intrigue involved. So I added the aspects of criminal intrigue, you know, and they failed. Like, they just failed. They didn't do very good. They didn't notice it at all. And I thought that was me failing to portray it the correct way. Except when I was like, don't you remember X, Y, and Z? What did you think of X, Y, and Z? They were like, oh, yeah! And then they kind of reminisced about some of the other events that were intended to go together that they had, you know, they just missed. The clues went over their heads. And when that was done, you know, I was like, okay, they recognized what's what, but after the fact. So, I think, you know, I think I did alright, right? That's why it was on a different layer, you. Can't believe I went through all that. It was just silliness on my part. I just, ooh. Make sure everything goes in one folder. Get a bit of this. Yeah, I like messing with clues and whatnot. Man, I love it. I love intrigue. I love thinking. I love discovering things. I mean, I love it as a player. I love to provide that as a GM. It's just in that one instance, they just did very, very badly. In noticing what was what. But I mean, after the fact, they realized, it made me think, you know, I guess I did an all right job if they were to hazard any thought into it, that they could understand it. And I like it. I don't know. This is fun, right? Like, this is the kind of fun where it's kind of predictable, I think. To me, I find it predictable. Right? But it's a character piece. It's like you get to know the characters, choose your favorite, and then root for whatever result that you perceive to be the best result. You know, who do you want to succeed, and does it look like they're moving towards success in whatever way that you can perceive it. You know, it's about just picking your fan, man. Picking who you like. They got so many characters here. It's like, who do you like? Who are you gonna root for? Which asshole do you find to be not the biggest one? or are you the kind of person who roots for the asshole in the story? I don't know. You know. Normally, I set it up so people should have the character skills to get the minimum clues, numbers, additional. You know, I fail on that a lot. I must admit my failure. I have an issue where I think things are they're like freebies, you know? They're less clues and more like, well, here's the answer to all your problems type of things. And to others, it just seems like it's just so subtle that they can only ever recognize it after the fact. Right? Like if I had too much faith in them as a reader or a gamer or whatever. And I didn't make it simple enough. Now, I'm opposed to that way of thought. I really think that, you know, things that I put are simple enough to figure out. But, you know, that's just my point of view. And it makes me feel like I'm failing as a if not a writer, a game master. But I always read too much into stuff. Normally between characters. Normally between characters, you can go slow in my stuff and figure out most of the major points. The problem often is, yeah, you're too late. Yeah, that's what happens to me. Missing out on a relevant question that should be obvious as a player, having bad dice rolls on top of that. So not in-game backup, not a good combo. Many mysteries are time sensitive. Yeah. Find the abducted child, figure out what happens, but 24 hours too late. Sorry, kid. Yeah. I think, you know what? You gotta blame video games for that. Yeah. So here's something we could actually blame video games for. Right. Actually blame video games for that, because the idea that the narrative pauses for you is just something from video games. You know? It's like, well, the main quest doesn't proceed until you go on the main quest. No, the main quest always proceeds. Everything proceeds. Wow. Let's see. Some of those strokes in. A little bit blurry. A little bit bloody, not too bloody, just a little bit. Oh, I'm blurring the mask? No, I can't be blurring the mask. Oh, no, this one I'm blurring the mask. Sometimes when I forget really badly. Let's make this not as dark, right? Turn that into like a purple, like right there. What's the cool blue? I don't like that shadow. That shadow looks like it does alright. person had died hours because they did nothing. Yeah. You know, I think I had a game recently where an NPC killed herself on a player, essentially, right? She started attacking a player in a method that led to her death, and it was like, no shit. The weapon she has an awesome power that slowly kills you, right? It exhausts you to death, and while other members understood what was going on, this one person kinda didn't. Like, I'm not gonna say they didn't understand so much as they just, yeah, they didn't understand. They were trying to achieve something with a cursory knowledge of, like, what she was going through, but she had been going through it for a long time. And again, it was one of those things where I thought, you know, she's mentally unhinging. She's been mentally unhinging for a while. She's been slowly dying for a while. She's been exhausted. Yeah, she's been doing a lot of damage helping you guys out, but she's been exhausted. This is exhausting her. And some of the other players recognized it, and then this particular one just didn't recognize it. And she died because of it. And, you know, it just didn't sit too well. I don't like the way this came out. Yeah, exactly. Is that too alien of a, just like a shine like that? It's like weird, should be there. Yeah, it's so creepy. We're not gonna go there. I'll just leave it like that. Screw it. Screw it. Okay, where's the... So he was somewhere right there. Mama, she likes the rum. No, that was Wendy. Come on, all right now. Sketch of Tim, I don't want to see no more. Go away. That's not bad, right? Yeah, you have to play smart. I haven't run too many of those games where you have to play that smart. Because I have accidentally gotten total party kills. You know, like in one I caused, I mean, if it wasn't for what the villain was doing, but through their free will, the players had their characters kill another player character. Coup de grace, murder. Now, I set the wheels in motion for it to happen, but I did not state or present that this player character's murder was the solution, was even an option for the solution. And they were just like, click, took that mother out. This is just what they did. So I'm not liking how that picture came out so much anymore. Tim Gray looks stupid. Oh, the music stopped. And then we have the highlight. Oh, you dirty, dirty highlight, you. Let's blur you some more. I don't think I blurred you enough. You know what? I think the highlights are far too strong. It could be what it is. Still like that. Blazing. Yeah, so much better. How do they look? How do they look? They look aight. Wendy in the limelight. Tim Gray operating from the shadows. Maybe you just see more Tim. PvP on this man available. It's not the campaign. That's close. Normally when it's available, it's one shot. You know, some games it's just a part of what it is to exist in the world, right? It's more of a social experiment than a game, right? It's a representation of how you exist in this fiction. And if you're an asshole, you fight your friends, right? You're supposed to be this team. And I'm not opposed to PvP, but PvP for the sake of just being a dick is just not cool. Yeah. Huh. I'm becoming less and less of a fan of this whole Tim in darkness thing. Even though I added more shadow, which... Okay, that's raw. A little bit light. Shadow number 2. Shadow number 1. Shadow number 1 with increased intensity. Until like there. Yeah. Well, what I'm mostly running nowadays is Saturday morning tabletop, and anything can really kill anything. You know, some of their enemies are so scary that to be able to defeat an enemy, you can defeat any other character singularly. So anything can be in PvP, right? Like a fortune teller. Oh, I'm a big bad warrior. I'm gonna fight a fortune teller. The fortune teller is just gonna twist your fate and make you miss it. You know, or do a performance that is like, if you get it, for every foot you come close to me, you take X amount of point of psychic damage. Right? So then you gotta make a character that shoots. Alright, fine. You have a character that shoots. You know, but your attacks, they turn into misses. Because they can twist fate. Right? What else? I mean, clerics... What is the least damaging thing you could think of? A priest. Priests can still kick some major ass in a fight. They're heavy supports. Performers are heavy supports, but they're not. They're really not any slouches. The fortune teller performer, superior support, not as damaging as the warrior poet, but could still, I mean, could still get stuff done. Yeah. The fighter moves to tank the boss. The rogue refuses to help and kills the cleric right before they heal the fighter because they want to control the group or be a dick. The wizard is stuck fighting or trying. Yeah. That's horrible. Come on, that cannot be the norm. Let me pull back. I hope that's not the norm for you. That you play with people that are I play with people that their motivations and actions are questionable as well. But I don't think they're that bad, like to that degree. If that's your norm, dude, oh, God bless you for not losing your mind and stabbing these people at the table. What? How could you do that? This is what you did in game, but in real life. Does this seem good? No, it's not. I'm stabbing you, and you stabbed your friend, and you're my friend, and I'm gonna stab you until you die. No, it's not cool, man. Jeez. Fix people in mass. Terrible. Yeah. Anyway, it's 1:30. I gotta get ready to leave. In a little while, and I gotta get some food in me first, because I need that fuel to deal with my children. Both of my babies are hyperactive, and I need me some fuel. So this is it. I think I like this. I think I like the way this cover came out. I don't want to be too... I mean, I did so much work in the damn Art Deco, I don't even know why I need pictures there. Anyway. Yeah. So, I'm gonna go now and get some food in me. And I'll see you later.